It came to the day where we had to say, it's time to close the doors. It's time to say that we're not able to do this anymore. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. I decided that for everybody that I possibly could that was in the church, I would call all of them personally and I would tell them these things. I would tell them what was going on. And every call and every conversation was extremely emotional and difficult. I preached to the church about endings and how we ought to handle endings whenever they come along in our lives. And one of the things that I read about whenever I was researching it is that endings are so much more truthful than beginnings. In the beginnings, we have our high hopes for all the things that could be, the things that it might turn out to be, all of these things, and we place our high hopes on all of these things, and we long for those things. And so we have our high hopes in the beginning, but at the end, it's truthful because we see what work was actually done. We see what was done. It's also truthful because, as I learned, people will tell you what they really thought whenever something is ending. And it was so painful. And I thought, God, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know why you would call me to do this. I don't know why you would ask me to come and to move my family and to go through this. We had difficulty with our kids in schooling. We had trouble adapting. We had all of these things that we were going through. And for the timing to be so poor, for it to hit us at the very worst time that it possibly could have hit. And over, I was just saying, why, God, why are you putting me through this? And then I remember so clearly God saying, why did you do this in the first place? And so, well, because I believe that you asked me to. And God said, well, then will you do what I'm asking you to do now? And immediately I remembered that message. Paul could have easily said, why, God, did you ask me to get on this ship if you knew that it was going to shipwreck? Why, God, did you ask me to go through all of this if you knew what the ending really was? And as I prayed through all of those things, I realized and remembered that no matter where the journey takes you, you can find a joy in the innocence of following God. Without making your own agenda, without deciding what you think it's gonna be, what you think it's gonna turn into, you can just give your all to God and you can find a joy in that innocence.